What if you could take all the coolest parts from a manufacturer and put it into one award-winning snowmobile? What would you have? Well, for me, it'd be the 2025 Polaris Switchback Assault 9R. And sure, the Switchback Assault's been available in the boosted turbo, and yes, it won last year's Sled of the Year award, but 2025's edition of the 9R motor option really shakes things up for a sled that was already incredibly impressive. When you drop weight, lower inertia, and only sacrifice what we imagine is just a few horsepower over the turbo, what you're left with is something we could only dream of. And dreams have become a reality, and I'm so excited to be here with this sled today to tell you what it does better, and if there are any drawbacks to the 9R motor. So without any more ado, let's jump into it. The Patriot 9R Big Bore is Polaris's retail available factory mod motor. Polaris claims that they've never built a more powerful naturally aspirated engine, and they threw a lot of cool technology at this project to get it to that factory mod status. Dropping 3% inertia from the lightweight crankshaft with a 10% lighter flywheel, ceramic coated dome pistons, as well as the light P22 primary clutch and machine ports, the engine package was able to shed a lot of weight, while increasing displacement to 899 cc's. The 9R's claim to fame, on top of the impressive lowered inertia, is the 1.2 pound lighter weight over the 850 Patriot and an impressive 7% more power and a whopping 12% more torque. Now keep in mind, Polaris claims the Patriot Boost 2-stroke turbo delivers 10% more power at sea level over the 850 Patriot. So that would mean that the difference between the 9R and the Patriot Boost is only 3%, or as I suspect in real world numbers, only around 5 horsepower. Now 5 horsepower is a good bit of power, but keep in mind that the Boost weighs significantly more than the 9R, and the real world outcome was quite surprising. When you grab a handful of throttle on the 9R Switchback Assault, you immediately know this is not an 850 Patriot. Likewise, nor is it a Patriot Boost. The sound, the immediateness of the power delivery, the absolute get up and go that is produced is like nothing else I have ever ridden on snow, except to say that it feels like an old school 800 mod snowcross sled. Angry at the world, ready to find earth through whatever depth of snow is under the track, and yet all at the same time, very linear and manageable when needed. Flipping the throttle produces crisp and precise response that's not hindered by the need for turbo spool, and the near instantaneous engine interactions let you know that low inertia is a real thing. You don't think 3% crank and 10% flywheel weight savings are real? Think again. Now out on the trail, the 9R is just so good. I mean, this is another level of responsiveness. And when you link that with the 2-inch Walker Velocity shocks, as well as the IGX suspension out back, this is darn close to perfection. Coming from their 2024 SnowTrax Sled of the Year award win, I guess this is perfecting perfection. And I'll be honest, the 9R Assault feels like it's in my head. Like my thoughts and throttle inputs and the way the sled responds is almost telepathic. I'm serious, it's crazy, crazy good. Throw the sled into a mogulled out trail, no problem. You'll be skipping across the tops and bridging those bumps with all the power you need to double and triple through the real rough stuff. Find a nice smooth groom section of trail and want to run with your buddies on the XCRs or the Indies? Not an issue. The Matrix front end is like a laser guided missile with total destruction of bumps in its crosshairs and nothing but smooth and precise drivability in its wake. Now because this is a SnowTrax sled, it comes with a 7S display. But I was kind of hoping that maybe Dynamics would find its way into this platform. However, I do know that there's probably quite a bit to figure out for calibration of Dynamics when it comes to off-trail riding. And I'm just not sure at this weight and power that there is anything out there that can hold a candle to this sled. Turbos are cool, but they're heavier comparatively, and the extra power that they offer just isn't that enticing when you can have this kind of big bore power on tap. And you can leave behind the arguably 20 pounds of turbo stuff that you'll be adding for roughly 5 extra horsepower. To say that I'm in love with this would be an understatement. Honestly, Santa, you can put one of these under my tree, big guy. So does this one up the boosted Assault? Is it the new king of the castle? And is there anything about this new kid on the block that I don't like? Well, I'll say with authority that if I had the choice of Boost versus 9R, there wouldn't be a choice. 9R gets my seal of approval. Is there anything I don't like about this sled? Well, it's not so much a don't like as just a fact of making power. You're gonna use fuel to make these kind of ponies, but you don't buy a muscle car to argue gas mileage, and likewise, you don't buy a big bore, the biggest bore 2-stroke available, to worry if it costs a few more bucks at the pumps, and it's probably going to. But let me tell you, when you're holding that gas nozzle and filling the tank, the only thing on your mind is getting back out on or off the trail and squeezing that throttle, carving another corner, or tearing up another fresh field of powder.